Hi guys, it's Corey coming to you from sunny southern Colorado, and I wanted to share with you the all-new Audi A5. All right, here she is. This is the all-new 2025 Audi A5, not to be confused with the outgoing 2025 Audi A5. Yes, Audi is doing something of a half year, and they have done this in the past with the car I remember most memorably is the 2005 and a half Audi A4, where they did have two models on sale for the same model year. Anyway, the new A5 is sort of an amalgamation between the outgoing A5 and the outgoing A4. There is no A4 for the new model year. So this one kind of combines the sedan-like shape that you're used to with the A4 with the practicality of the liftback on the A5 Sportback. It is a new chassis. This is the B10 generation for you chassis code nerds out there like me. And you can see the all-new body styling. We've got new LED headlights up at the front. Those are going to give you selectable DRL signatures, so you can kind of personalize that to your preferences. We're going to have the whole host of driver assistance features that you're used to with previous generation Audis, maybe tuned up a little bit there. We've got electronic door handles here on the doors, so we no longer have that physical handle that you lift up. It's just going to be electronic, so you put your hand in there and it will open and close. One of the coolest things, and I'll show you once we get in the car, is the light control sunroof. So it is no longer an opening and closing glass roof. If you like to open your roof, I'm sorry about that. However, you can open and close, proverbially speaking, of course, the PDLC shade. So PDLC, polymer digital liquid crystal, or maybe it's PLDC, polymer liquid digital crystal, doesn't really matter. Anyway, you push a button and it goes opaque. You push the button again and it goes transparent, or translucent rather. So that's really neat. We've got the single light strip here at the back. That's kind of the new design language for Audi. We've also got the kind of flat two-dimensional Audi rings. Love them or hate them, that's the new design language going forward. New font for the A5 logo as well. And we do have the dual exhaust tips there at the bottom. There is going to be an S5 coming out shortly as well. We are expecting one of those here pretty soon. Go ahead and open the trunk for you. So as you can see, it does have the lift back, which is going to give you more cargo space like the previous A5 Sportback, unlike the outgoing A4, of course. You will find, and I'm not super jazzed to tell you about this, but you will find underneath that there is no longer a spare tire. Audi has switched to the run flat tires that will allow you to drive at 50 miles at up to 50 miles per hour with no air in the tire. Do I love that idea? Not necessarily, but hey, I'm just here to tell you what's going on. This particular car is Glacier White Metallic. That's a familiar color with black interior. It's the Premium Plus package, so it is the middle of the road. However, there is a couple of things that are coming out on the Premium Plus package that were previously reserved for the Prestige trim. So that is going to include, most notably, the head-up display. You no longer have to go to a Prestige package to get your HUD, and I know a lot of people are going to be happy to see that. That was the one kind of, not complaint, but one thing that people wish they could have gotten without having to go all the way to the top trim, was to get that head-up display. So that's really cool. This one's got the 19-inch wheels. This is the standard All-new Optic. There will be a Black Optic package available as well. That's going to black out the window surrounds, and I believe it's going to darken the trim here up at the front. There's no longer any aluminum brightwork here on the nose. Traditionally the cars would have that, but I think that's going to darken that, and you'll get some different, probably larger diameter wheels. I want to say 20-inch diameter wheels. Also notice that your parking sensors are wrapping around all the way to the corners of the bumper, so you'll get a better kind of field of that parking sensor ability to pick up obstacles. And I'll pop the hood for you here quickly. We're not going to spend too much time under there, but I do want to at least rattle off a few specs. The engine has gotten more powerful. It's the same, maybe not the same, but relatively same 2.0 turbo that you're used to in all the Audis basically since '05. And the output has been increased to 268 horsepower, up from 261 previously. We're also coming in with 295 pound-feet of torque, so that's a decent jump in torque. I believe previously was 273. We are still required to use premium fuel in this car. Let's see, top track speed is going to be 130 miles per hour, 0 to 60 time, 5.6 seconds. And let me just see if there's anything else worthwhile mentioning here. We are still using a 7-speed dual clutch automatic transmission. Quattro all-wheel drive is standard, not that it was ever optional on the A5. It was optional on the A4. They did away with that about a couple of years ago. So all of these are going to be Quattro all-wheel drive. And curb weight's coming in just a hair over 4,000 pounds, or just a hair under 4,100 pounds, so 4,090. So a little bit heavier, not too surprising there. Cars are always seem to be getting a little bit heavier, but anyway, let's go to the interior. Feels really nice shutting that hood. So the interior also showcases Audi's new design language, and that's going to include the love it or hate it big screen here behind the dash. You know all cars are moving this way, so whether you like it or not, just understand that, hey, this is the way things are going. And I will tell you, as someone who has sampled this tech system before, this interface, it is pretty nice. It works really well, so just know that. Here's your new door panels. This does have a multifunction switch up here that's now going to consolidate your door locks, your mirrors, your child safety locks, and your seat memory. And then you do have your traditional window switches here. This one's outfitted with the Bang & Olufsen stereo. We do have some wood inlays here. There's no longer a wood inlay on the dashboard. That's going to be a different piece of trim. This one's also got the warm weather package, so you can see the ventilated sport seats in here as well. I don't know if there's going to be a more flat bottom seat coming out on these. I haven't seen enough of the cars yet to really know. The steering wheel, if you've ever seen a Q4 e-tron, should be very familiar to you. Let me zoom out a little bit here. So that is 100% Q4 e-tron steering wheel, which I have enough time behind the wheel of to say it works pretty well. You do have the, whoops, let's mute that. You can swipe up and down, left, right, or you can press it like a physical button. So that does allow you to manipulate everything on this side of the gauge cluster. And then over here, on this side of the screen, oops, let's continue as guest. We'll decline that for now. This is kind of your landing page here, and then you can get into all of your available apps here. It does look like a lot. It kind of is a lot. Actually, not as many as in our electric cars. Q6 e-tron has even more icons here, but of course we've got wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay, the App Store that allows you to get different apps, including some games, I believe. The digital key is a new feature. This will allow you to turn your smartphone into a key, so you can leave your physical key at home. We do have remote engine start, Yahoo, that came out actually in 2024, but that's going to continue on into the new car. And we've got all different kinds of stuff that you can personalize. Ambient lighting. We can see our tire pressures now. That's a new thing that wasn't available previously. You would only get the idiot light. Sorry to call it the idiot light, but I don't know a nicer way to say it. We can adjust our interior lighting. Of course, you're probably not going to see that too well in this sunlight, but you can customize all of that, which is really neat. And your climate control is always going to be down here. I know a lot of people bemoan the fact that, or may bemoan the fact that we're going away from the physical controls that were in the previous cars. I don't disagree with that, but I will tell you, at least they're always going to be down here unless you put your camera on. If your camera's on, your climate control goes away, but you really shouldn't be adjusting your climate control while you're backing up. Anyway, here's your top view camera, and then your adjustable camera views over here. We can switch back and forth. And then, oh, that washes the rear camera. Here we go, that's what I'm looking for. You can select here and choose different camera views like front and back tires for parallel parking, rear camera, front camera. So you have all that available to you here on the camera screen. So let me see, I'll just hit this button to make that go away. Cannot be deactivated when in reverse. Okay, there we go. So without getting too deep into the weeds on here, the new infotainment suite is really quite nice. We of course have the whole host of driver assists like adaptive cruise, active lane assist, pre-collision braking, etc., etc. We've got the new driver information screen here, which if you've sampled our Q6 e-tron or the new Q7, Q8, things like that, it does give you a lot of extra information on here as to what's going on the road around you. Shows you when your turn signals are on, shows you if there's cars in front of you, on either side of you. It shows you speed limit information. When a new speed limit sign comes up, it comes down and replaces that. So a lot of really cool tech here. So what I want to do now is get it out on the road so you can feel what it's like. So let's do that. Oh, but I almost completely forgot the light control sunroof. So got the big glass panel above our head, really nice here. Right now you can see it's opaque. If I go to the sunroof shade button here, I'm gonna go ahead and gesture like I'm opening it or push it open, and boom, there goes the translucent. Now I can hit it again. I can press it and stop it halfway. I can close it all the way. If I motion up like I'm tilting it, it'll give you the stripes. That gives you some light without all of it. And you can go the opposite direction with it too. So there's quite a bit that you can do with this roof. And I really like that it goes opaque like that without having to wait for the shade to open and close. Where we live, it gets super hot. You kind of want that shade closed when you're not in the car, and not having to wait for that power shade to go shut is really, really nice. So that's a cool feature. I really like this. Okay, guys, I'm experimenting with new camera mounts, and this is the only one I have at the moment, and it's not the ideal camera angle, and I know that. So please just be patient with me. I will try to have a better one for the next one. Power steering column. Ooh, look at that. That's new for the A5. All right, we're gonna put it in drive. I've got it in balanced mode. So balanced mode is the new auto mode. If you're familiar with Audi's Drive Select. Auto is the previous kind of balanced, even keel, if you will, drive mode. And so that's where we're at. So we're gonna start with that. Put my GPS screen on, not that I don't know where I'm going. So the ride so far, I'm just going out of this driveway here, or this street. The ride is composed. It's a little firm, not in a bad way. Good response from the engine so far. This is literally my first drive in the car. I've driven the diesel wagon version in Germany, but not this one, so. Yeah, nice composed ride. The steering, well, it's electric steering, so you don't get a tremendous amount of feedback, but it's accurate, so that's good. Brakes feel nice. I can see my speed as well as the speed limit through the head-up display. Let's go left here. Hill a little bit. Oh yeah. Good acceleration, smooth, not too buzzy. Handles that corner nicely. Got the active lane assist on now. Just remembered I forgot to put the license plate on the back, so I hope I don't get in trouble, because I'm not stopping now. This is the right thickness for a steering wheel, by the way. Take note, BMW, your steering wheels are too thick. The last two BMWs I drove, and I rented them, and so I had them for a number of days. My hands were like cramped because the wheel was too thick. There's no need for it. And I do not have small hands. They are probably large hands. Anyway. It's nice and quiet in here. Yeah, the roads in Colorado Springs are pretty bad. I'm from Boston, so the roads in Boston are absolutely atrocious. These are pretty much on par with that, maybe a little bit better. So if you're in any sort of city, New York, Newark, Trenton, Los Angeles, Boston, whatever, just know that you're going to have a car that's pretty composed. And if you're fortunate enough to have nice roads, you're really going to be treated well. All right, there goes the auto start stop. That was really smooth. I almost didn't notice it. I'm going to lift off here and just see what the restart is like. Yeah, that was pretty good too. Let's see. So it doesn't do a brake hold. I don't know if that's an option. I haven't played around with the settings, but when you lift off the brake, it will start to creep forward. All right, I'm going to go into Audi Drive Select here. I'm going to put it in dynamic. And that turns the top of the tachometer red. It's going to say dynamic down here. Gives me a red indicator on the, looks like oil temperature. Transmission goes into sport, shows me my gear. I've got S3 here. And then I can put it in manual mode by using the paddles on the steering wheel. I'll wait a little while to do that. I can't wait to get a better camera angle for you guys. I do, again, apologize for that. All right, let's drop it down. Manual, second gear, and punch it. There we go. Ah, and it does shift for you if you hit red line. That's disappointing. It's not the end of the world. It's just, I feel like if you're in manual mode, it should give you control of everything. Oh well, I'm being really nitpicky. This is like car nerd enthusiast level 100 that most people will never understand. That's what I'm complaining about, so don't take it as a real fault with the car. It's not that bad. Anyway, moving on. Man, that's quick. Gosh, this feels about as quick as my old S4, my 2016. So a lot changes in 10 years. Feels really glued to the road on those corners. I know we didn't take them at very high speed. Maybe I'll turn around and take them again. This corner going kind of quick here. Oh yeah, the turn-in is excellent. It's actually more than I was expecting. I was a little surprised by that. Yep, that's nice. Yeah, and these I don't think are particularly sporty summer tires. These are Turanza, Bridgestone Turanza, which is more of a touring tire. So that does really well. I know most of you probably aren't going to be driving that aggressively on the day-to-day, so this is kind of a academic, whatchamacallit here, but you gotta know what it can do, what it can be capable of. All right, now we're gonna relax. Let's go into comfort mode. So it looks like they don't have individual mode anymore, which honestly is just as well. I think unless you're in an S or an RS car where you have more adjustability, there's not a whole lot that you can fiddle with. So I think it's just fine that they have comfort, dynamic, and balanced. Comfort's going to make the steering really lightweight, probably a little too lightweight for my preference, and it'll keep that kind of a drivetrain in a little bit more relaxed mode, more for fuel economy. I'm going to stick with balanced. I think that's fine. Oh, actually, do we have? Okay, I stand corrected. We do have an individual mode. Excuse me. You can adjust your steering, you can adjust your driver assistance, and you can adjust the Audi virtual cockpit layout. So there you have it. Yeah, I think I prefer the weight of the steering in balanced to comfort. Comfort's a little too over-assisted, in my opinion. But yeah, really nice. I don't know quite how to explain or quantify it, but the ride feels better. The chassis feels better than the outgoing car. And the outgoing car was great. I'm sure if we got the engineers in a room, they could tell us why. But it definitely feels very well put together. What else can I mention? Seat's very comfortable. This one has the adjustable thigh support. I'm a taller driver, so I really appreciate the thigh support. Good side support too. The side bolstering's really good without being, too obtrusive. Now, I'm a pretty narrow guy, so I don't know how wider people might feel. My much bigger than me colleague just drove it, and he said they felt pretty comfortable to him too. So take that for what you will. View out the rear view mirrors is nice. The mirrors seem a little smaller, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. Get the same side assist blind spot indicators we've had in previous cars. That's always been a great system. You've also got the digital stage up here, which if you can see that green light flashing, that's my turn signal. That's letting me know that the turn signal's on. If you have the hazard lights on, it'll blink those as well. And then if there's any sort of emergency situation, it can light that up in red to kind of give you an alert. I believe that's for our Audi pre-sense system. So that's another nice visual indicator to let you know what's going on outside the car. All right, and that about does it. Please do not leave any children or pets behind. Thank you, Audi. All right, and there you have it. That is your all-new 2025 Audi A5 sedan. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Please leave a comment down in the comment box below. Let me know if there's any additional information I can answer for you. I do work for Audi Colorado Springs, so if you're in Southern Colorado, please reach out to me if you'd like to see and test drive the new A5. I would really appreciate that. And please like this video, consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content from Cars and Corey. Thanks for watching.